What's up, being savages, to a special episode. Today, Simon, a friend of ours, he will channel the Yahyel. He channels Marcus. Wow, this is a little heads up. This is the intro. Yesterday, it happened in our reality right here. The visual is not the best, so I invite you to just listen, like go in nature, go for a walk, hug some trees, or like get a massage or lay down, close your eyes and really listen to it, because it's so much about the frequency that comes through and less about the words. Like I had so often my eyes closed because it was like fully in spirit, and like he channeled our higher selves that I so often saw things. Like we listened to it today again, and things that sound simple, now that I listen to it, I'm like, and I said like, wow, this helped me a lot. And not so much what he said. What he said was spot on, but also what I saw. Like I closed my eyes and I saw images. I saw things of not just what he was saying, but my higher self was truly speaking to me, mostly with images I saw and understanding things so deeply. So yeah, you want to say something about it?
For me, it was a lot of feelings. I was really happily overwhelmed by a feeling of connection and being understood and seen. So you'll notice throughout the episode that I was doing my best to use my words because I was crying a lot. And it was really powerful for me. Like I listened to a couple of the parts like over and over and over again today. And yeah, I'm really excited to dive into it more and let it sink in and apply some of the things that I learned.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean. Feeling and seeing, but seeing with our third eye, seeing, and many things he said, like this one of, we were talking about that we're live, there's only this present moment and change is the only constant. And this funny period we're in right now is like only now, and I wanna like celebrate every phase I'm in more, because of course eventually we can go back and create this moment again, but it's a different moment. And when he was saying that, like I knew that all, but I was so feeling it. And also being savages, I cut out the first like 15 minutes because Simon, to get in the channeling state, to channel the Yahyel, he hums, and the humming was really loud and it's really beautiful, but it's something to experience live. But listening to it, I feel like it won't give them so much.
Yeah, it's just him getting on the frequency so that he can channel.
And then also I cut out the first 5 minutes of channeling. It's mostly because like I want to start with the juicy stuff, and it was also us experiencing it together. He was like inviting us. This was so beautiful. You want to tell them about it?
Yeah, I was about to ask a question and then he said, do you want to bathe in the energy together? And I said yes. So we all did a little meditation together, and yeah, I immediately started crying because I was like, it was so beautiful, and I could feel energy in my hands and just throughout the room. And I could feel like a lot of beings like watching us, and just feel a lot of energy going through. And as we focused on that energy, we were increasing our vibration. So I feel like that was really good, like setting the tone for the whole conversation.
Baby, it was so insane. Like,
we couldn't sleep afterwards. It was like past midnight.
Yeah, we were like
1 a.m.
so awakened, so activated. Like if you watch until the very end, you will see me freaking out a little bit. Like I didn't even notice that I was speaking German all of a sudden, because it was like so crazy. And he was also saying afterwards, Simon, that this was one of the most powerful transmissions that ever came through him.
Yeah, the strongest channeling he's ever done. Because it bounces off of the frequency of the people who are interacting. That's why they always say it's a co-creation. Because if you have a really high frequency, then they can play the game with you at that level and share information on that level.
Yeah, what you're about to hear, I so invite you to just open your mind and really focus on the feeling, like not so much intellectually. Like sometimes I also was like shifting in like things like words he used or sometimes, but then I'm like, I know exactly what he means, you know? Like, can I give an example? He was saying, just be patient. And then like Bashar likes to say, you don't need patience if you like are not impatient about anything, you know? Why do you need patience for? But I know exactly how he says it. It's like this conversational, like he also said waiting sometimes. Of course, it's not waiting, but it's like, this is how, like we, like also Bashar likes to say, not walking on eggshells when we speak. And like, it was this feeling, like he used the best words so we can feel it, like he was talking to us.
I really liked it. I felt like it really sunk in like a lot more. Sometimes with Bashar, I feel it's so intellectually on point, but less feelings. And with this channeling, I felt like it was like almost all feelings. Like, I mean, he was even working with me when I was really emotional sometimes, and he was like saying really nice things. And I was like, this is really nourishing.
Yeah. But to be fair, Bashar does it as well. It's like always Bashar channels the higher self of the person asking the questions. And
Baby, I know you love Bashar. I'm not saying anything
yeah, but
negative
he
about
also
Bashar.
is like, it's like, do you need a hug? Give her a hug. To like the audience, like things like that. Bashar does all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it felt so, like, and like Simon, like the biggest shout outs to him. Like we speak about it soon, before that even starts, how amazing he is. His channeling voice is so calm, and English is a second language, like for me, and it's so good. Like I could so feel like safe and comfortable in listening in his voice, and makes this like waking up so much, making it so safe. You know, I can really feel his his Yahyel presence. Like I see Simon as this Yahyel. Like I see it. It's so clear how he's this walking big, powerful Yahyel. And like when it started, all this feeling of like I saw all these beings coming and watching, and like the energy in the room. But what I meant earlier was the example that sometimes I was like shifting intellectually of like words, and I'm like, no, go back fully into feeling mode. And like that's New Earth, what it's about. Like it's all the 4D New Earth. The spirit is like feeling it, and that's why so often I am so like when we make love recently, I mostly like close my eyes because we're like fully in spirit, and the feeling is so much more than the seeing, because feeling is seeing, believing is seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I felt like with this channeling, it was a lot of. For me, I asked a lot of questions of like how to deal with this physical reality experience, and I felt like I got a lot of really solid answers. Because I liked your questions that you ask about like,
you know me,
spaceships and, you know, alien species, and I was like, how do I handle my emotions in this reality?
Yeah, we got both exactly what we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, this was so activating, the spaceship stuff. And today in the park, when I listened to it, like I was, you know, when he talked about the alien Ferdi, to also, but to also be mindful how much I want this alien Ferdi to let through. He said it then.
But I thought he said like to actually let it out more.
Yeah, but just also that I can choose how much I want to let it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was in the park, I was like talking loud to myself for a while to my alien Ferdi, and like making this deal with him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just so activating. So there's not much more to say besides where you can find him. Simon, our friend, you can find him. I link it all down below. He doesn't have Instagram right now. He's not excited about it. But the best thing is his website. You learn more about his channeling, and you can just write him an email. He also offers private channeling sessions like this one. So if you want to ask your questions, like you can do that, and I can highly recommend this permission slip. It's so powerful. If you want to hear your higher self speaking to you through an extraterrestrial, through a Yahyel, and I'm also gonna list some Yahyel videos. There's a really powerful Yahyel documentation, because if you feel like this excitement about all of this, you most likely also have a Yahyel counterpart, and it's so activating to learn more about them. And they are like most likely, as Bashar says, one of the first species that make open contact with us, the first hybrids. And one more thing I want to say is that he also channeled me in, I also had a private session with him like 1.5 years ago here in German, and I have never released it so far, but it's either already out on my German channel or probably after this one. So the next day is on my German YouTube channel. I have a channeling with him in German because back then I didn't even talk about Bashar, so the world was like not ready for that. That's how it felt for me. But now I want to release that, so stay tuned on my German YouTube channel for that.
Yeah, and I want to say one more thing is that he, I thought it was cool that he does Simon does in-person channelings and in group channelings, but he also does stuff on Zoom. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can book a channeling with him. And we asked him, like, do you want to have a lot of people come? And he's like, all in synchronicity, you know, like he's just like happy to be of service. Yeah, I feel like we have a new alien friend.
He's so on our frequency, and we have crazy synchronicity with him. And how like it was 1 a.m. yesterday, we were so activated and like our dreams, and it's just like it all showed us how each present moment can feel, like how like the tank of joy is all like there's endless joy, and not holding on to things that gave us joy in the past. No, everything is changing, and I try to go to this thing and that thing that gave me so much joy, but this is not me anymore now. Things like that, like wow, and speaking so openly about it, like here, not bringing all the disclaimers in. It's so fun being savages when you hear my German channeling. I start off bringing all these disclaimers, and it's so fun to re-listen and being proud of myself how much I grew. And this now is my highest joy of like not bringing all these disclaimers. Like if you think this is crazy or whatever, like feel free. Here's a Yahyel. There was a extraterrestrial in our apartment vocally channeling, and the energy was insane. And I'm so proud to share this with you, and I'm so excited for your feedback via Instagram. Send us DMs. All right, should we start it?
Yeah, let's go. Thank you, Marcus. That was beautiful. Is there anyone watching or tuning into this that has a specific message for us?
Many beings that wish to communicate with you, that wants to get to know you more deeply in this idea, more consciously in this idea, but we would not go into this right now. For time, as you know it, might be limited, and would ask you to continue with another question.
Okay. How do we find our soul tribe?
Could you define soul tribe first?
People that are on the same mission of us to build a new earth vibration and create a beautiful reality here on this earth.
Is your wish to have more of these people around you?
Yes, more of these people physically around me.
To know, first and foremost, that there are many of you, of what you define as soul tribe here on planet Earth, that they do exist, that there might be even more than you would think of right now, that they could be your neighbors almost, so to speak. To be more of yourself, to share more of you, of your true beliefs if you want, to live more of who you think you are, to be able that others can recognize that in you more openly, to feel that more openly, feel that more clear, start sharing and sharing more of this. What is your idea of soul tribe, yourself? And you will automatically be guided, as you know, through synchronicity to the right moments, to the right people, to more, if you so wish, soul tribe likeness.
Thank you.
And make more physical contact with them.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I would ask a question.
One moment. It can just be as simply as stating this simple message of, I would like to meet more of my soul tribe, but do it in a more public way.
I do share this on my podcast and on social media. I do feel that I can be more myself, though. Maybe that's the thing, is to attract it in, to share my vibration more freely.
Very well. Is there anything else you would like to expand regarding this idea, or is this sufficient for you for now?
I feel like it's sufficient for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question, and it's about the Yahyel. I feel such a strong connection to the Yahyel, and there's so much information now on YouTube, and it so resonates in my heart, and I feel like I have a counterpart in the Yahyel, and I want to know if I have a counterpart in the Yahyel.
What would your answer be to this question?
Yes.
So go with this answer.
Okay. And if you could greet my counterpart right now, I would love to say hi.
There's no need for me personally to do that, because your counterpart is present, is listening, is very close to what is happening right now, right here in this moment, very close to this energy bubble, very close to this conversation, very close to you in an energetic, more energetic way. So you can tap into that. Maybe now having the confirmation from a Yahyel that this truly exists, but we always love to share with you that you have this ability with your own intuition, with your own mechanisms that you have to just be certain about this yourself and start going in that direction by creating confidence about what you already perceive and not necessarily needing to be confirmated with a confirmation through what you label channeling, through what is going on here. You might as well skip the channeling and go straight into that direction if you have this calling, if it excites you, if it's something that you can feel. Most likely there's a reason behind that. So yes, I definitely can confirm you have a counterpart.
Yeah.
But it's not surprising to me.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for reminding me to trust more in my intuition.
You are co-creators, you are humans, you are conscious beings, you are on many different levels at the same time. And many of those levels, as you might know or not, are actually, you could say, in such a different perspective than ours, that you are explorers to us as well. You go to places that we have no access, if you wish to term it that way, for now. So we learn from you, we look to you, sometimes as you would maybe refer to us, up to you. So please come into your full potential, in your full power, if you wish.
Thank you. Yes, I choose so. My next question is about UFOs. I love UFOs. I dream about them. I think about them in my imagination. I go on trips in them. And I wonder, you, Marcus, what is your UFO like? Could you describe it to us?
Yes, very well. I have described my wonderful friend before, for it is organic. It is not something that I see external and material from us. It is alive, it has its own consciousness. I can communicate, similar to how you would know this phenomena from your indigenous people that used to ride horses, as you know, and would be able to control, if you want, to steer the horses just with thoughts, with telepathy, without needing to use any kind of cord to pull the head in a certain direction. They would just simply jump on the horse and be connected with this horse. In this way, it is happening with my ship. So we are synchronized, we communicate in a telepathic way. I can enter my ship, be surrounded. You could understand it from your perspective, stepping into the belly of this being and having a space to exist and a space that I can reside together with other beings that are humanoid but also in different shapes. For I have friends that are not from the Yahyel, that take on different physical form, that can reside in my ship, and I have met this ship in a very special way, on a very special journey. The way it came to me, it is a very advanced ship, you could say, that allows me to travel a little bit farther, you could say, a little bit deeper into unconscious fields of the universe to us than our own Yahyel ships would be able to do this. For I am an explorer of consciousness. I do travel by myself, as you understand it, as a physical Yahyel in my ship to other places without necessarily taking other Yahyel beings physically with me. They are always present in a mental space, as you can call it. And so me and my ship, we go on journeys together, and we are very close friends, and we love to travel, to explore, and this is how we synchronistically met during my lifetime. Is there anything more specifically you would like to know about my ship, which is called Mesmo?
Wow, it sounds so cool, your ship, and I can see it in my imagination. And yeah, you say you're riding with other species in there, other extraterrestrials. So if you want to have a human in there, I would be super excited to be picked up and join an adventure.
How exciting! This would be something we would love to do. For this is just, we are just as curious as you might be of how you react being inside the ship, of how far you could go with our ship. So the idea is, once open contact gets close, is happening, to first let you come close to the ship, and eventually you will be able, from our perspective, to enter the ship, see how you feel, and adjust to the vibration that is in the ship. And we have yet to discover how we can sustain your physical existence that is still carbon-based in this idea as you created, a very dense material still. So we might have to look for adjustments ourselves, how we can keep your structure intact, so to speak, so you are always still able to use your physical vessel even after coming on the ship. So this is something we will have to explore together. But thank you for being excited, going on this journey together with us and coming on our ship.
I'm buzzing of excitement, and if you are excited to figure it out that I could come on your ship physically, I would be so excited. I'm looking up the sky every single day. You can sense my frequency of how excited I am to explore the cosmos and meet more of my family and learn from each other. And I so stepped into my power and remembered who I am. And I want to learn from you, and you can learn from me. And I'm so excited, and there's no rush. I know it will all happen in perfect timing. I just want to say, I'm here.
Very nice. Thank you.
And
how fun to play around with these ideas, and how fun to actually start manifesting together more and more, to be able to experience this on a more physical level. For we are already experiencing this in our reality from different perspectives. We can already envision these moments very clearly. We can have very clear pictures of this happening. But it is not happening, or otherwise we would already be there together with you.
yes, and this brings me to my next question is, do you mostly interact with other Yahyel beings or mostly with other extraterrestrial beings?
Well, as you might sometimes be frustrated with these answers, but it is not so much this or that, but this and that. So the way we in certain states experience time makes it impossible for us to start comparing which time is actually more long, more short than with the others. But I spend a rather great amount of what you call time with other extraterrestrials, but I'm also as well very present, very there on my home planet, on other Yahyel ships, and it is not very exciting to me to start measuring time in one reality and another reality. So this is a question that I cannot answer sufficiently as for now. But maybe one day I will be able to take a stopwatch with me and press start. And when the experience is over, then I can press again and I can start calculating. And then I could give you maybe a more satisfying answer.
No, this was so satisfying. I loved this answer, and it reminded me to ask more conscious questions, because now that you answered this way, this is how I also talk, and I love this answer. My next question is, what do you like to do for fun?
Talking to you, obviously, right now. It is very exciting to tune and turn our direction, our consciousness, our focus into your direction on planet Earth, on your beautiful being, planet Earth, as you sometimes call her Mother Gaia. You have many names for this beautiful being. So we really tune into that energy. There is certain Yahyel that wake up literally in their bodies, as you call it, in the mornings, and immediately they bilocate, you could say, you could term it, themselves to Earth as much as they can, and spend what you would call a whole day around your planet, in your planet, observing your planet until they are getting tired, as you could say, in their bodies, and are re-pulled away from this focus into their bodies and already feel like they need to tune out a little bit now and put their bodies to sleep, which not necessarily means that we're turning unconscious, but our bodies are not being used in these moments when we transition from the awakened state, you could say, in our bodies to a sleep state. But even in our sleep state, there is Yahyel that would go back traveling to planet Earth, being with you, bringing a lot of joy, and me as well. I love to do this for joy, but like I have shared with you, I also experience a lot of joy traveling to other places in the universe, for there's so much to explore, as you might already guess. Infinite spaces, infinite beings, infinite states of being that can be explored, and I love to tap around the edges of this consciousness and see what we can find there, together with my ship, together with my body, with my experience, with my viewpoint that I'm currently in. So this is truly what brings me the most joy, is to explore and to be with you here on Earth as for now.
Wow, I love that. This sounds really exciting. And I'm so excited to do it in a less limiting way as we humans do it, of like taking a camper van car to drive around. But I'm so also excited to take a UFO and visit other planets. And my next question is that the last years I got so conscious, so awake, that sometimes I feel like my awakeness, it's, you know, that I really get that we're indestructible souls, we are eternal beings, and sometimes this knowingness scares me, because sometimes I feel like too awake for this world and just like that it will never stop. Do you also experience that sometimes?
you could say that this would be more of a natural state of existing for us. So we are in this space quite often, for as we have also shared in the last question of you, that we have the ability to stay conscious during, as you would call, sleep. So there can still be some gaps of unconsciousness happening, but we will simply drift away with maybe sounds of our planet, with imagination, with thoughts, with emotions, and then we experience a world very fascinating. And once we pop back into our bodies, we will be of joy and not necessarily remember everything that we have experienced, and be of joy being back into a Yahyel body. So we are able to hold maybe a little bit more than you this state of the infinite, and we are so accustomed to it since our birth that we do not fear this state, that we do not feel fear in this state. We can simply enjoy it, let it be. And for you to share our perspective, my perspective, you are tapping into this threshold, you are tapping into this space, wanting to know, being curious, am I really infinite? Is this really true? Because all my life I have been told I'm not infinite. There's a lot of beliefs on your planet that want to tell you differently. So there are quite a few curious souls on your planet that just want to know, hey, finally, universe, let me know, is this really true what I've been hearing, maybe from these extraterrestrials or from other species, that we are truly infinite. And so you are the persons maybe most curious right now, wanting to know that. And from our perspective, it makes sense, even though we are certain we do not experience fear the way you do, but it makes sense to us that you can feel a little bit uncomfortably. But what you're really doing from our perspective is just remembering who you really are. That's all it really is. You're just remembering you really are an infinite being. And that's just the way it is. There's nothing to change about that from our perspective. That's just the natural state of isness. It's one of what you know to be Bashar, one of his laws, you could say, one of his principles. You exist. As simple as that.
Yeah, I feel that. It's really simple, actually. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you go there from our perspective, the less you will be afraid of being there.
Wow, yes.
Because you will also get to know that change is the only constant.
Yes.
So you will never be somewhere forever. And the paradox of existence is that you truly do only experience every here now one time, even though it's infinite.
Wow. Yes. Thank you. This helped me a lot. Brittany would ask the next question.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. This is amazing. Thank you. I so enjoy this. This is the best thing ever. Finally, I'm speaking to someone that makes sense.
Great.
My next question is, why do Ferdi and I feel so different from other humans? Like, we wake up in the morning and we feel sore, like our physical body feels sore. And a lot of times we feel like we're moving through a dream. But we also feel like we're here for a mission, that we're here to create something really beautiful. And we're following our highest excitement in every moment. Right now in physical reality, our highest excitements are becoming less and less in 3D and more in spirit. But we don't know what to do with it. Is there any help that you can have for this?
Let me try to sum up this ball of questions.
Thank you.
This was a lot.
More than it being a lot, is that we, the Yahyel, we do not see necessarily our role to hand you all the answers on a plate, but rather let you be on your discovery yourself. But of course, if it's something that you only like to give yourself permission to experience deeper, to dive deeper, through us letting you know about it, we love to serve in this way to you. So we are trying to be very careful of what we want to let through and what we want to hold away, so to speak. But as you might already guess yourself, you are truly right now, as we speak, as we perceive, as I perceive, going through immense shifts in energy, in vibration. Your earth experience is accelerating exponentially, is becoming very fast. Many of you are aligned with this movement of energy, as you've been hearing and might create for yourself, riding the wave on its peak, and the wave becoming higher and higher. And as you might want to translate that, being the surfer on top of a gigantic wave, not even knowing how to surf that wave. And so this can be quite overwhelming for your physical bodies. And they might ask, your physical bodies might ask you to get a little bit more rest. Because you, as we see it, as we perceive it, are really riding on that wave, while others are not riding the wave the same way you are. They might be in more comfortable waters for them. But for us, it is very important for you to step up to ride that wave, for you will learn how to ride those waves. And we do not want to start giving you scenarios of fear or scenarios that decide over others, so to speak. So there is the chance from our perspective that some people will not know how to ride these immense waves soon, and they might drown a little bit, and they might need others to come by and lift them out the water so they can breathe again. So we would say, be patient, continue to be brave, continue to ride the waves, for this will be exactly what you will need to do in the very near future. You will be the anchor point for so many other souls that are still down in lower waters, not even seeing the waves coming yet. So there's very good reason for you going through what you are going through right now. So just keep trusting in the process, in what you chose to experience, but what you also signed up to do on this planet, to be an anchor point from our perspective, to be something very stable in the next upcoming years, possibly decade, where others can just hang on to you.
Thank you.
Is there something else?
Is there some place that's best for us to be physically from an energetic standpoint right now in this process?
You will be guided yourself. There is, from our perspective, indeed places you can, maybe as you would term it, recharge better, feel more comfortable, feel more yourself. So these vortexes, these portals are opening more and more on your planet. are getting bigger and bigger, and you feel naturally comfortable in there, and you will be naturally guided through synchronicity to get to know these places. But it will be very easy for you to recognize the differences in energy as you go on, and know for yourselves that this is one of those places that you might be able to expand more, to feel more comfortable, to naturally be together with your planet, expanding, changing, transmuting, transforming. So yes, there are quite a few of those areas, and some of them are very known to you, some of them are not known to you by now. But when they need to be known, you will know them as we perceive it, as we receive it, as we are able to share with you in this present moment.
Thank you. So we should just let ourselves be guided by our higher selves. Is that what you're saying with the physical space?
That always works in our perspective, yes. There's nothing, in other words, that we, the Yahyel, feel like we need to share with you in this moment where you should go. You are truly, from our perspective right now, in the best moment, in the best place you can be. There are no disturbances that we can perceive.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, this long answer. Just have to say, just want to say thank you. I felt this so much. This was so beautiful, and I feel this wave, and I am a good surfer, metaphorically speaking, and I want to surf it with so much joy, doing backflips, and then being so comfortable that everyone else who wants to start surfing, I can teach and be this big anchor and this grounding force to help people on board, because the more you raise your frequency, it can get ungrounding, and I want to so ground in it and surf it, and this really resonated. Thank you.
Way to answer your soulmate's question yourself. That was asking, what is your mission? You have just answered that yourself.
They restart a surf camp called Earth.
I think sometimes I just get really lonely.
Thank you for diving into these spaces. For us, the Yahyel, it can be very, 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 very difficult to experience loneliness the way you do.
I feel a really strong connection to the hybrid children, and I would like to ask if there's anything you can share with us about how do we connect to them physically, or is there anything they'd like to share with us, because this is really important to me.
Yes, of course, it is our pleasure to explore this with you, this idea, the hybrid children. So, as you might have heard before, they need, from our perspective, the way we understand it, a very remote space on your planet for now, reading the energies how they are now. They're not able yet to walk into what you label your cities. This is not possible in this moment as we perceive it. So they need to accustom to your planet in remote areas, start breathing your air, start touching your floor, as simple as that, with their bare foot, being accustomed to your planet, your being, getting to know her first and foremost in a more natural state. We do not want to say cities are not a natural place, but the way the hybrid children are coming to you, they are used to go to places that are truly just natural in the sense of just having trees and water and earth and fruits. So this is something that they would need to first vibrationally match on your planet as well. There are certain areas that are starting to build from our perspective that would be able to match that frequency. It is yet to vibrationally adjust to that level, but it's getting really close for the hybrid children to also, in that sense, as you understand it, lower their frequency a bit more, but matching that of what you are creating on Earth more and more. Once this is achieved, they will be able to sustain their consciousness, their bodies, for minutes, for hours, and then eventually for days, starting to be able to overnight, if you wish, on your planet, to wake up on your planet, and then go from there until they eventually, if Earth decides to shift in your reality that way, then they will be able to stay for weeks and eventually years, and then eventually can decide how long they want to stay or go on other adventures.
Is there anything specifically that we can do, like us personally, to aid in this transition? Because I feel really called to work with them. So if there's anything I can do, I want to do it.
Yes, very well. In regard to the hybrid children, as we have shared, they love natural environments. So wherever you can insert yourself to create a more natural environment, some of your humans have begun to label these things, for example, as permaculture, agrofloresta, wood, a forest that is starting to sustain itself as you still have parts of this ecosystem on your planet in, for example, the Amazon region, where you have more fruits than you can eat, an abundance of food, of water, of drinkable water. But as you know, these places you have decided to limit, and there's very few places on your earth currently where this is happening, where you can actually go and drink water directly from the river. So anything you can do to clean the waters, to help your nature to become more of what it has been, if you look in your past, in your not so distant past on other continents where you barely had any of what you call, and we have said, cities. So anything, any place that returns to more of a state as it has been on your earth, and anything you can do to help Earth create these, we will say now, paradises on your planet, anything in that direction you feel called, you can do, we would say go there and start growing, start being, start understanding again your Mother Earth, how she naturally evolves, naturally grows, without needing to control her, needing to fear her, needing to fear maybe some toxicity of some animals maybe in the area, but to understand that all of this is truly a reflection of yourself, of your potential, and there's nothing to afraid of, just letting Earth be the way it wants to be.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
In regard to the hybrid children, there are extraterrestrials, if we might add, that love to explore your cities, that love to be in other spaces. So we're not saying that all extraterrestrials need a more natural environment to coexist with you.
Okay. When I was on Kopanjang, I was falling asleep one time and I heard sounds like it was like a radio station that kept getting changed, and it was people talking and the music, and I was fully awake. And then I opened my eyes and I looked across the room, and there was a blue portal of light that was swirling like in the midair, and it slowly started to close. And also I felt my body, my astral body, getting pulled out of my body and like turned sideways, and then I got scared and everything stopped. And I would love to know more about that and what that was.
Somebody visited you. A good friend.
Did they have a message for me?
What we receive in this present moment is simply that this being that came to visit you is extremely proud of you, wanted to share its unconditional love for you, wanting to let you know there's nothing to fear and nothing you can do wrong. And give you a little reminder of who you are and what is possible to create now on planet Earth.
Thank you. Since that happened, I would love to have it happen again. And like I saw an actual portal, and now I'm like, why can't they just open all the time? Like I feel it's so easy that because I've like physically seen it. Is there a way that I can encourage more visitations and portals like at nighttime before I fall asleep? I always say it.
Like we have shared, what we perceive, what I perceive right now, that this portal was used to come into your reality. And you, through your higher self, allowed yourself to stay conscious enough to take that experience with you all the way, so to speak. So, since you have done that once, we would like to share with you, you can make that happen again and more often if you wish, and if it's in alignment with what you truly need in your earth experience. If it's truly relevant for you to have this more often.
Does this specific being visit me often?
Yes, you are very close throughout many incarnations, as you like to see existence. So it is one of those beings that decided to stay away, to let you have your experience, but to check in once in a while. And now even checking in on a more physical level with you. But yes, it is something that you could say you have been with and you made a deal. Hey, I will go to Earth. Okay, I will stay here. I'll watch you. Okay, it is one of those beings. A spirit guide, a close friend.
Thank you. Sometimes when I do rape, the spirit world opens and I can see like my spirit guide or soul tribe or...
Oh yes, you can understand, if you wish, that you and many others, what you call your soul tribe or who are on this mission, have had incredible incarnations as indigenous people on your planet, already being connected through spirit very openly, very consciously, merging the worlds. So you have had many lifetimes that, as you know, are also happening right now in this form. And you shared wonderful lifetimes together on this planet Earth, in your, what you would call from this point of view, past.
Thank you. Is my dog Afro more than a dog? I feel like she's like some spirit coming through a dog.
Well, in general, we would say all the beings on your planet, even plants, are more than what they appear to be physically. So yes, that includes your dog as well.
Is there anything special about her? I mean, I know you're saying everything's special, but I feel a very strong connection to her.
Yes, that would be an indication that we, the Yahyel, would already take for granted, so to speak, would take as a symbol that there is, yes. So similar to talking to Ferdi earlier, trust your intuition. A lot of the things that come to you, that you feel, that you guess maybe, yes, is special. It seems to be special, it feels special in most cases, it truly is, and it is really as simple as that.
Yeah, because sometimes we joke that Afro's like true intelligence. Like not artificial intelligence, but true intelligence. Like she's going to just like transform into something else or start talking to us. Or
this is one way actually that you, Earth humans, are now beginning to open up, as has been shared before in other channelings, that before you truly connect with us, the extraterrestrials, you will most likely first start connecting to your own species on Earth in a way more conscious way. So this is exactly what's happening. You're starting to remember that all the beings, be it animals or plants, are very conscious, intelligent beings that you can really have conversation, that you can listen to, that are telepathically able to connect with you. And you can literally have conversation with a tree. It truly works. We do this all the time. Okay. So yes, there is amazing beings in your animals that you will start to really perceive that way and be able to communicate on many levels, many more levels with these beings in the near future, for as we perceive it. If you follow, if you keep the momentum as it is going right now, this is what you will experience.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Will I ever have a connection with my mom and my sisters again in this physical timeline?
Well, this is partly up to you, but obviously it's also up to them. And you cannot interfere in other souls' incarnational schemes. So there are souls who choose a very unique scheme and very different from another soul's scheme, but still decide to incarnate in the same family, so to speak. But yes, in general, it is always possible to reconnect. There is nothing written in stone, so to speak, that draws a border between you two that cannot be lifted again. But it is not only up to one of the beings. It needs to be co-created, since free will is always given on your planet.
Okay, thank you. My last question is, do you have anyone who has passed away that Ferdi and I are close with that has anything to say to us? Like Ferdi's dad or my aunt or Ella, my friend who died.
as we perceive for now, some of those beings are still in process. And there's nothing more that wants to come through us, through me at this present moment.
Simon was talking to us about a lot of things with cats, and I was wondering if you had anything to say to him. Is it really aliens sending messages through cats to him?
Well, it goes in the same direction as we just shared about your conscious beings all over this planet Earth. So cats would be one of them that you can start to look deeper into, and they often feature a very unique attribute, we could say, of being completely random. So cats have an amazing ability to shift variously all over the place without it making any sense. And this can help you in certain situations to also have your consciousness stirred up a little bit and your mind, and everything becoming a little bit more senseless.
Yeah, I feel that a lot. What is anything?
To remember you that you can just be.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I also just have one more question, because all the other questions you just so reminded me of trusting my intuition, and it's so clear, not doubting myself or need even more confirmation, because everything talks to me, everything is synchronicity, and I'm so guided, and I'm exactly where I need to be. So I have all the answers in me, and the last question is, where I also have the answers, but it's just maybe you have something to add, is that I feel so strongly this alien in me. There is this counterpart, this being that wants to come out more and more, and it's like so strong, and I can feel this other Ferdi, which is also me, just more of me wants to come out, and I want it to come out, and I'm asking you to have maybe a specific permission slip in mind I could practice that would help me.
Well, first of all, we would like to share with you, you're simply becoming more aware that your true nature is multidimensional, as for any other human we can see on this planet. So you all do have various layers, various personalities that you have sometimes labeled as a disorder, multiple personality disorder, and we like to call it multiple personality order. So there is actually an order to that, and if you are able to structure it and determine it to be this way, label it, define it that way, create beliefs around it that way, you can actually, in an order, let those different personalities of you come through, make them more alive inside you. And for you, it would simply be to just act more on the alien Ferdi.
Yeah.
But also being aware and always rechecking, consciously being honest of how much you want to give space to the alien Ferdi.
Yeah, the alien Ferdi wants a lot of nature, and that's why it's like challenging right now to be in an apartment in the city, and that's why I go every day in the park, in the hammock, to the trees, because there it feels comfortable to come out, and I'm so excited that it comes out, this alien, all the time basically, but it's just like nature.
Are you sure that this is not the true Ferdi and the other one is the alien Ferdi?
It's all the same, exactly. Like, all in me is nature. Like, nature is calling me from all Ferdis. So, that's why.
Because as we have shared, the way we perceive your history, your her story, your past, you are actually a very natural species.
Yeah.
It just so happened that in the last decades and hundreds of years, you have evolved very far away from that idea.
Yeah.
So many of you are reminded right now of what you have been for many thousands, 10,000s of years, living in harmony in that idea with nature. So it is something you are maybe way more familiar with than you think of right now. It is something very natural to you from our perspective to live life this way.
Yeah. I feel this so much. Nature's calling us so much.
So from another perspective, you could say you are more alien right now than you would be living in nature.
Yeah.
But we also want to share there's very positive examples of expanding consciousness inside a city as well. So you have the civilization of the Pleiades, for example, that is an excellent example in that way of merging together technology, what you label technology, and natural environments. It's an incredibly beautiful blend that they have achieved on, from our perspective, a very high conscious level.
Yeah.
So it is not that you need to run away from our perspective and go into nature because you think or label the other one as lower frequency or lower vibration.
Yeah, this is so my excitement to merge it both. I love nature and I also love so much technology and using right now social media and putting this conversation here on social media. So yeah, I'm merging it.
But yes, one can dominate for a while and then you can feel the urge or the calling to balance that out by spending more time in the other reality.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Wow. Maybe a fun question. I know it's I know they are not dumb questions, so it's a fun question, which is Brittany and I, like, we have this is like the strongest connection I ever felt with anyone. It's so insane. Like, I call us twin flames, and like, could you sense the frequency that we're on, like, on average when we're together?
Well, yeah, if you decided to be that way, if you label it this way, if you like to play around with the energy of being twin flames, you can create the experience of that very well, very intensely, very deep, and can, of course, raise your frequencies in this idea. If you put the right beliefs around it, you know, you can create anything you want. You are a conscious creator. So yes, you have the ability to raise your frequency in that model of being together. But you can always understand, if you wish, that this is something that you can create, so to speak, externally. You can put that energy anywhere you want. So the universe doesn't necessarily create twin flames that are only in two individuals. But you can create that idea and experience it that way very well. And this can be a very beautiful experience, a very uplifting experience indeed. So as long as you want to be in that energy, create that idea, just continue on. Continue with those beliefs, for it will reflect to you the reality of you too experiencing it in this way.
And do we have connections, like, are we connected in other timelines?
You can probably answer that yourself.
Baby, in all the timelines.
I know.
I feel you in all the timelines.
Is it possible to share with us? Because, like, I love the idea of knowing if we're ready, like, frequency-wise for first contact. Is it possible to share with us what our frequency is? Because, like, Bashar says that we have to be above, was it 200,000?
Yeah.
Are we above that? Are you allowed to say? I don't know. Sometimes Bashar says we're not allowed to say this. I don't know. We're just really excited to meet you guys.
Well, we can share this with you once you exceed this number that we don't necessarily label exactly as this number, but once you exceed a certain threshold, contact is immediate. It will happen instantly in this moment. Since we are waiting exactly right there for you.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any, beside, I don't want to say the whole thing.
We
like,
will simply pop up next to you if you're able to achieve this threshold.
But in our physical minds, we would love this right now. But is it just that we need to keep following our excitement and it just naturally happens?
Yes, this is one way, and for, as you know, Bashar, one of the methods, the formulas that would work best and accelerate you most in this direction.
Is there anything else?
Yes, from our perspective, we are the Yahyel, we are not Sasani, so we have different beliefs, a little bit adjusted here and there. So yes, there can be other beliefs that you can create around the whole spectrum of possibilities that you want to experience life that can still accelerate you and bring you in a different frequency in many different ways if you wish. But yes, we are also an extension of this idea of being created also in a linear sense, looking from the idea of hybrid Sasani. So yes, we are very close to Sasani consciousness, their beliefs, but there are still some differences between us. And so yes, we would say that you are, like we have shared, on a very high frequency already. If you want to play that game of higher and lower, if you want to use that perspective, there are certainly areas like we have shared that we are not able to go, that you can already go, but you're not perceiving that consciously right now. So be open and create the knowing, a trust, a confirmation. Create the knowingness of you really being that God-like being, if you wish to term it this way, the spiritual infinite being. And in this spiritual infinite being, there's really truly infinite ways to raise your vibration. It doesn't need to be broken down into a formula for you to live that, to experience that. Simply trusting, simply going by intuition can already be sufficient. It doesn't always need to be your highest excitement from our perspective. But it is a beautiful formula. It is something that we would not say to not use it. It is something you can certainly use from now on until the rest of your lives.
I feel so much that this formula is great for quote-unquote most people to like get going, like find themselves, and once you like really found yourself, remember and woke up that you are the master creator, you are God, you're all in like at this level, it's like I can fucking decide, and like of course I follow my passion, like this is the most sensical thing, but it's like I can change the formula because I create the formula. And my excitement is to keep raising my frequency where I can meet you physically, and I see all these adventures in my dreams and in my imagination. It's getting like so much that this is like all what my highest excitement, and I cannot act on it. But like yes, I keep raising my frequency so I can meet you there. And I was a bit afraid to, but I know I am not afraid anymore. And I like these beliefs of I gotta function in 3D, how other humans and blah, and that they perceive me. No, they create their own version of me anyways, and I like fully step in my power and like surf this wave and show them how cool you can surf this wave.
That's why we love expansion, the idea of expansion, since we know that it's infinite. We can expand infinitely. That's why we love the idea of joy so much, because we know that joy is truly infinite. We can experience infinite joy. Joy never runs out of being joy. Joy doesn't have a tank. Joy doesn't have a limit. And that's what keeps us on our path to be joyful. And this joyful might be excitement for Bashar and might be labeled differently, but it is this feeling, that you can feel. And when you feel this feeling, you know that this is this feeling, and then you want to stay more in this feeling, and you want to live this feeling and create and manifest with this feeling. Feeling of joy, of happiness, and this feeling will give you side feelings, so to speak, side products of thankfulness, of unconditional love, of many frequencies that build up more and more a reality of expansion, a reality that you can feel more and more comfortable with, that you can harmonize more and more and start making your daily life, and you can just really live lifetime after lifetime in those energies. For us it works, and for many other species, and this is what we're sharing with you humans, that you don't need to limitate yourself so much, but we admire you for limiting so much. This is really something we truly admire in you Earth humans, the way you are able to explore consciousness in such a different perspective than we are used to. So we love to connect with you, learn with you, tune into your ideas, and are really fascinated by the way you live your lives.
Wow. The tank of joy never runs out. It's infinite, and I stay in the joy, and I like, wow. Markus, I'm so excited to fly in the UFO together. I'm so excited to see your UFO. I'm so excited to vlog it and put it on social media to show other people so they can raise their frequency and see how much joy can be had with extraterrestrial, and all the fear gets out of them, which the mass media tries to put in them, and we hop on the UFO, and I want to fly to the mountains with you. I love the mountains here in Austria and Switzerland, and I want to show you the mountains and the coolest spots, and I'm so excited to take Brittany and Afro, if dogs are also allowed, let's see. I would be so excited and go on the coolest adventure together and vlog it for YouTube.
How exciting! What a beautiful future to dive into, to let come to us. For it is already here, as you know.
I have one more question. I know that sometimes I wake up and I'm really, really sad, and Ferdi doesn't really like to meet me there in the sadness, and I don't want to pull him into it. But is there anything that can help with that? With me and my emotions? Because sometimes I wake up and I feel like my emotional reality, it's like I feel all the sadness in the world.
There are many ways around this from our perspective, so you can see it and experience and label and define it as something that you still want to move through all the way. That is something that needs to really come out of you before you allow yourself to let go of that and move in a different direction. But if you wish, there are also shortcuts from our perspective to this. As you know, you are all the versions of you right now already. So all of your versions really truly from our perspective exist right now. You just have to match that, imagine that, ask yourself, what is the version of me that is less sad? What would the version of me that is less sad be doing right now? Imagine that to the best of your ability and start acting on that to match that vibration that is truly for us from our perspective present right now. So you have, for example, also versions of you that are maybe physically not as healthy as you, versions you would call that are sick, but you can understand that this version truly has nothing to do with you. From your linear perspective, yes, you create a conscious connection to that, you pull that into your lineage, into your idea of understanding how life goes, but we truly see separation through all these different versions of you, and you can match whatever version you like, and you will understand, if you wish, if you want to match our perspective, that this version actually really has nothing to do with who you become or who you were.
Thank you.
So you can really truly stop identifying with the sad Britney if you wish. But there's nothing wrong at all experiencing this version a little bit longer as well.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marcus. It was so nice connecting to you again, and I'm so excited to, as my Yahyel part now, give you a big hug and like channel all this love that this human Ferdi has right now for you and Simon in this hug. So thank you so much. I'm so excited to share this with my community, and I'm so excited to speak to you soon again, and then physically, and go on all kinds of adventures and show you how cool we are in person and just have the best time.
How great! We, the Yahyel, and I, Marcus Samu, LLE, can't wait to receive this hug from you, Ferdi, and see how you feel as a human and connect to you more closely, to share, to expand mutual rewarding energies that we can grow together and go on long journeys from this moment on together, side by side, as galactic friends, as civilizations, side by side, exploring more corners of the universe of consciousness, and grow together to get to know even more crazy species like you humans together.
I want to give you a hug too.
All hugs are always welcome.
Thank you.
We can hug it out for a very long time if you wish.
Thank
This
you.
would be very exciting for us.
We're very excited too. We're excited for you to pop into our living room. You're welcome anytime.
Anytime.
Very well then. Prepare.
Okay, I think that's it because the channel needs to go home.
Oh, well, yes. Thank you then for this reminder. Thank you for your openness, for your willingness to share, for your co-creation, for this channeling is really a co-creation of you being here, of this body being here, for all of you giving your attention. So what is really happening is that you are channeling right now as well, just that you use the permission slip of this just coming through a certain individual body. You chose one to be, but in reality you are truly channeling right now yourselves, but using certain beliefs, permission slips to have this come through just verbally through one body. So thank you for co-creating this channeling, for making this happening, for sharing this moment, for wanting to share it with more Earth humans on your planet. We are very excited for this. We are ready to be known more in your human collective consciousness. We are ready to be known more, pop up more in your language, in your maybe media, and become, like we have shared, your side-by-side intergalactic family that you can also lean on, and we can lean on you, and we can go on this journey of the infinite and exploring reality and manifesting reality together from now on in this way, and hopefully very soon physically together side by side. So thank you once more, Earth humans.
Thank you. We're always here.
Ooh.
Wow! Das war so krass! Boah!
Did you just say insane?
Huh?
Did you just say crazy insane?
Yeah.
You mean beautiful?
I didn't even realize I was speaking German. Wow, thank you.
Danke euch.
Wow.
Were you present for any of it?
Huh?
Were you present? Were you aware of any of it?
Yeah, present, like, yeah.